Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you guys can tell by the title, today I'm going to show you guys how I get my Gel X to last a month. I know that I did a Gel X tutorial video a few months ago, but what I do has changed a little bit, and I want to just make this video be a super in-depth of how I get it to last, some tips that I do, and just some different things that have helped me. So a few days ago, I did my nails. As you guys can see, I think they turned out really good, but this nail, the skin had kind of came off around here and it was just bleeding a lot. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do that nail. I'm just gonna do all the other ones and then wait on it to heal, because I knew that if I went and did my nail and like I put the acetone and put the alcohol, it was just gonna burn really bad. So I was like, you know what, I might as well just wait. So I waited a few days and it is now all healed up. So I thought that this would be the perfect time to show you guys what I do to make my Gel X last, because I'm going to be doing it. So I always go ahead and pick out my nail tips. I have all my nail stuff right here on the little nail cart, which I showed in my birthday vlog, but I always go ahead and size my nail tips. These are the ones that I'm going to be using, so they're just from Amazon. The nail tips that you use do matter with, when it comes to how long your nail is going to last. It doesn't extremely matter, but it does matter, because there has been times that, I've tried nail tips and they've been like too thin, and then therefore my nail doesn't last. But then there's also been times that I've tried nail tips and they're like nice and thick and then my nail lasts. So I highly recommend like a good quality nail tip. Also like these that are Gaoy, and then I have some other ones, I'm not sure where they are, but they are Unigella. I really like Unigella. Unigella ones are really good. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and prep my nail tip and size it so we can get that out of the way. Ahead and picked out the nail tip that I'm gonna be using. Now, this is something that I did not used to do, but I do now, and I highly recommend that you do, is to just file right here on the nail tip where it's going to be on your nail, so that it's not as smooth and then therefore it can grip on better. They have some nail tips that are already filed, but most of them are not, so I just take my e-file, which this one is Melody Susie, and you can use really any drill bit. I'm just using this one because it was already on there, and then I just kind of go like this and remove some of the shine. So this is how your nail tip should look. You can clearly see a difference of where I filed it versus where I didn't. You want it to look like this so that it can, like I said, grip on better. Oh, now I'm gonna go ahead and take some rubbing alcohol and just spray that on to my nail tip so I can go ahead and let that dry while I prep my actual nail. Just because whenever you file it, some like dust and stuff can go on there, and that can also prevent it from sticking as good. So you want to just take some rubbing alcohol and spray it on, because then it will help it last longer. So for me, whenever I do my nails, I never really cut my cuticles, because I don't know if you guys can see, but I get only a tiny bit of cuticle. Like, I've tried to cut it before, but then I just end up cutting the real skin that is not the dead skin that doesn't need to be cut. So with me, I find it easier to just go in with like a drill bit, kind of like this, and just to kind of clean up the cuticle area. I've just realized that that works better for me, because like I said, I don't get a lot of cuticles, so there's not really any point in trying to cut it because it's just going to end bad. But you can cut your cuticles or file them or do both. It really doesn't matter. So these are the 3 drill bits that I use on my cuticles, because like I said, I don't like to cut them. So I started off with this little one. As you can see, this is really easy to use because you can get it in your cuticles good. Like, you can get up in there, because when I do my nails, I like to not only remove and push back my cuticles, but I like to lift them up as well, because a lot of people don't know, but when you do Gel X, it's good to, if you can, try to press the nail tip like under your cuticles a tiny bit, because then it's going to blend more seamlessly with your actual nail and it'll just look better overall. So I like to do that. And then I went in with this drill bit as well. I love using this drill bit. It is amazing to remove dead skin. So I just went around my cuticle area to remove some extra dead skin. And then I kind of did the same thing with this one. I just like how it's pointed, because I feel like once again I can get like up there in the little crevices without having to worry about like cutting myself or whatever, because it's pointed, so I feel like I can control it better, if that makes sense. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this drill bit. I'm pretty sure this is called a safety bit, I could be wrong, but I'm gonna go in with this one on my actual nail, not necessarily on the cuticles. I mean, I do go a little bit around the cuticle, but mainly I try to focus just all around my nail to remove shine and just kind of do the same thing that I did with the nail tip, so that it can help like grip on so that it lasts longer. So I'm editing this and realizing that these next few clips that are sped up were not meant to be. So basically what I was trying to say in these clips is that I always like to use rubbing alcohol instead of fancy prep products to prep my nails, because I just feel like it's cheaper and it works better. And then for nail glue gel, I love to use Gaoa. It is my favorite. I've tried the Modelones one in my last nail video, as you guys saw, but I did not like it. I like Gaoa and it has just been my favorite, and it has just always worked the best for me. So yeah, what glue gel that you use does definitely matter, because like I said, that one just did not work for me, but this one works really, really well for me, and I highly recommend this one. It is the best. Now we're going to get into application, which is super, super important if you want your nails to last and look good and just everything. It is so important. Oh, this doesn't really have anything to do with retention wise, but I'm just going to show you guys anyways, because it is a little hack that has helped me a lot. So if your nails are short and you still want to do Gel X, but you don't want to have to worry about getting the gel on your skin, just take a little piece of tape and then put it around the skin or on your nail so that it'll go on the tape instead of your skin, if it does. I learned that on TikTok and it has helped me so much. But now I'm gonna go ahead and take my light, and when I flash cure my gel, because I like to flash cure it first, I am just gonna go ahead and turn it on and put my light on 60 seconds so it can go ahead and be on and I don't have to worry about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my nail tip, and then I just apply a little bit. I highly recommend to start with just a little bit of glue and then add more if you need, because you can always add more, but you can't really take away, if that makes sense. So I just put it on and then I do a slip layer. I'm going to add a tiny little bit more of glue just to make sure that it's enough, because yes, you want enough, but you don't want too much. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure it's even and apply it. And then I like to flash cure under my lamp first, so I'll do it for about 10 seconds and then I'll take it out and do it for the full 60. So I just made sure to fully cure my nail as I showed you guys. Like I said, I like to flash cure it first, and then once I make sure that it's like on and there's no air bubbles or anything, I will do the full 60 seconds. So now I definitely recommend to seal your cuticles, because in the beginning of doing Gel X, it felt like I was doing everything right. Like I was using, you know, my good prep products, I was using good brands and everything. But I was like, why is my Gel X not lasting? Why is it only lasting a few days? And the reason why is because I was not sealing my cuticles. This is so important, because if you don't seal your cuticles, then it will start to lift and then water and stuff can get under there and then therefore make your nail come off. So I'm going to be going back in with the same drill bit that I talked about earlier that I like to use, because like it can help me just kind of get around the little crevices around here, because I don't necessarily file this. I just like to do around the cuticles, if that makes sense. So this is the perfect nail drill bit for that. So sadly, these clips also got sped up, but basically the last thing that I did, which was what I was talking about, is I like to just take a tiny bit of acetone and just put it around my cuticle, because it helps it to seal the cuticle so that there is no lifting. And the acetone that I like to use is just from Dollar Tree, and this works really well if you struggle with lifting in your Gel X. And yeah, basically that is the end of this video. I hope that this video helped you guys if you are struggling with your Gel X retention, or you want to learn how to do Gel X, or just anything like that. I really hope that this helped you guys. And yeah, do not forget to like and subscribe, and my other social medias are in the description below.